Think you know everything about the Scream movies? Think again. From haunted masks to shocking behind-the-scenes secrets, the Scream franchise is packed with weird, shocking, and downright unbelievable facts that even die-hard fans might have missed. Today, we're diving deep into 40 of the strangest and most fascinating secrets about Wes Craven's iconic horror saga. Buckle up, this is going to get scary and weird. Before it became Scream, the film was originally titled Scary Movie. Kevin Williamson's script was intentionally meta, satirizing slasher tropes, so the working title reflected that self-awareness. The producers eventually changed it after hearing Michael Jackson's 1995 hit, Scream, believing it captured the mood of the film perfectly. Ironically, the title wasn't wasted. In 2000, a parody film called Scary Movie borrowed the original name and spoofed the very series Craven had created. The iconic Ghostface mask wasn't custom-made. A production assistant stumbled upon it in a box of Halloween decorations while scouting locations in Northern California. The mask, from Funworld's The Scream line, was inexpensive and widely available. Wes Craven was immediately struck by its haunting, elongated features, inspired by Edvard Munch's painting, The Scream. Despite initial studio doubts about the mask looking silly, Craven insisted on keeping it, and it instantly became one of the most recognizable symbols in horror. After decades of horror filmmaking, Craven was burned out and initially turned down Scream multiple times. He had been experimenting with lighter, more mainstream fare, and was hesitant to return to slasher violence. He only agreed after a fan told him he had lost his edge, reminding him of his iconic status in teen horror. Drew Barrymore signing on also convinced him the project had legitimacy. Without her, Scream might never have been made. Barrymore was originally cast as Sidney Prescott but requested to play the opening scene victim Casey Becker. Her switch shocked audiences who expected her to survive. Her 12-minute performance remains one of the most iconic horror openings ever filmed, and her fear, enhanced by Craven's direction, set a new standard for horror introductions. Although the scene is only 12 minutes long on screen, it took 3 weeks of intense night shoots. Craven meticulously planned every camera angle, lighting setup, and timing of each scream. To maintain authenticity, crew members occasionally made Barrymore panic between takes, calling her with fake threats. Every gasp, shriek, and reaction was designed to feel genuine. Studio executives thought the cheap plastic mask looked goofy and suggested Craven design something scarier. He secretly filmed scenes with the original mask, proving it could terrify audiences. Once they saw the results, the mask was kept, cementing Ghostface as an iconic villain. Ghostface's voice was performed by Roger L. Jackson, who never appeared on set. He called the actors in real time, improvising threats and taunts. This technique created truly authentic reactions, with actors screaming in fear without knowing what line or threat would come next. Neighbors often mistook the screams and fake gunshots for real crimes. Police visited multiple times, prompting the crew to station authorities on set during night shoots. The chaos added to the authenticity of the neighborhood atmosphere on camera. The original cut of Scream was flagged NC-17 for intensity, not just gore. Scenes like Tatum's garage death and Casey's hanging body were considered too disturbing. Craven argued with the MPAA, and eventually submitted multiple versions, eventually receiving an R rating without cutting a single scene. Lillard was visiting his girlfriend on another audition when a casting director noticed him in the hallway. He was asked to read for Stu, and immediately landed the part. His unhinged, chaotic energy made him an unforgettable part of the franchise. During the climax, when Stu strikes Billy with a phone, Skeet Ulrich's startled reaction is completely real. He was actually hit. Craven kept the take because the pain and shock looked authentic on screen. Craven appears as the janitor in Freddy Krueger's red and green sweater. His name tag even reads, Fred. This subtle Easter egg nods to his Nightmare on Elm Street legacy and delights attentive fans. Before Scream was the title, early drafts called the story The Woodsboro Murders, which also became the name of Gale Weathers' true crime book within the universe. This clever meta layer inspired the fictional Stab films and created a movie within a movie continuity. The plastic mask reflected studio lights poorly. Cinematographers underexposed the scenes and used colored gels to give Ghostface a dark, menacing aura. This made the mask far more terrifying on screen than in person. Originally, David Arquette's character was supposed to die. Test audiences adored him, so Craven reshot his survival scene, turning Dewey into a franchise mainstay for years. The house for the final showdown exists in Santa Rosa, California. Fans still visit it secretly, though the owners maintain privacy. Its isolation added authenticity to the climactic party scene. The entire Scream 2 script was leaked online in 1997, revealing the killers' identities. Writers had to rewrite large portions mid-production, changing Mickey and Mrs. Loomis's motives and deaths. Liev Schreiber's Cotton was originally a background cameo. Fans responded positively, so he was expanded into a recurring character in sequels, becoming a central figure in the second film's tension. Matthew Lillard improvised the line, "I'll be right back," poking fun at classic horror tropes. The line became a running joke and staple meta-commentary across the series. Jackson's voice has remained the same in every mainline entry, ensuring continuity despite changing killers, timelines, and decades of storyline evolution. In the climactic party scene, special effects artists used actual cow intestines to simulate entrails. The smell was unbearable under hot lights, forcing the crew to swap to silicone replicas after the first few takes.
Kevin Williamson drew inspiration from the 1990 Gainesville Ripper killings in Florida. He explored how media coverage and celebrity fascination with true crime could drive copycat crimes, weaving it into Scream's meta-commentary.
The iconic shunk of Ghostface's knife came from stabbing cantaloupes and watermelons. This practical sound effect was so effective, it became a franchise staple. Only Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard were told they were the killers. The rest of the cast received incomplete scripts, preserving genuine shock during filming. Neve Campbell didn't find out until the final week of production. Cox, known for Friends, was told she was too sweet for the role of Gale Weathers. She personally lobbied Craven, who recognized her versatility. Gale's tenacity became iconic, cementing Cox's career in horror. Roger L. Jackson improvised the line while recording live calls to Drew Barrymore. Craven loved it so much he rewrote nearby dialogue to center around this now famous question. Campbell was filming Party of Five while shooting Scream. She flew overnight between sets and worked grueling night hours on the film, barely sleeping for months. The climactic finale was shot over 21 consecutive nights. Cast and crew often worked from dusk until sunrise, earning t-shirts saying, "I survived scene 118." Exhaustion turned into camaraderie on set. The first draft featured only Billy as the murderer. Craven suggested adding Stu as a second killer to shock audiences. That dual twist became one of the most influential elements in horror history. Henry Winkler played Principal Himbry but asked to remain uncredited so he wouldn't distract from the teen cast. His scenes were reshot twice to increase suspense. Original drafts of Scream 3 included ghostly apparitions of past victims haunting Sydney. After the Columbine tragedy, Craven rewrote it, removing supernatural elements and toning down violence for sensitivity. Williamson had mapped all three films before production began. Scream, Murders in Woodsboro. Scream 2, Media and Fame's Role in Crime. Scream 3, Hollywood's Self-Exploitation. This foresight allowed continuity and meta-commentary that still resonates today. Dimension considered producing a standalone Stab film. Instead, they embedded Stab into the sequels as the fictional movie within a movie, creating a clever meta-layer without confusing audiences. Craven was briefly removed by the studio for refusing to tone down violence. The cast refused to film without him, forcing the studio to reinstate him and give him creative control. Kennedy improvised much of Randy's movie rules and meta-horror commentary, drawing from his own encyclopedic horror knowledge. His lines became templates for self-aware horror humor in the genre. The original mask and robes were white. Craven dyed the costume black to make Ghostface more menacing and avoid accidental resemblance to a KKK robe. Knife slashes, the phone ring, and distorted static voices are reused across all films, creating auditory continuity for fans. Many actors assumed Scream was a dark comedy because of the meta-dialogue. The horror impact only became clear after post-production added music, timing, and suspenseful editing. Unlike Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, Ghostface's identity changes every film. Each killer has a unique motive tied to prior events, keeping audiences guessing. In Scream 4, a hidden file reads, Wes Craven, 1939-2011. This tribute honors the master of meta-horror, who reinvented the slasher genre not once, but twice. And there you have it, 40 weird, shocking, and downright bizarre facts about the Scream franchise. From accidental casting to iconic mask discoveries, this series proves that horror isn't just about scares, it's about stories behind the camera that are just as thrilling. If you love these secrets, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite franchises, and comment below. Which Scream fact blew your mind the most?